Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to make a video about how to buy Bitcoin without using any KYC. So to do that, we're going to be using P2P cryptocurrency exchanges, which is the main focal point of this channel. My channel is about debanking, and for the most part, I've discovered that P2P trading is the main thing that's going to help you debank. And it's on these P2P cryptocurrency exchanges where you're able to do a lot of different kind of maneuvering that you wouldn't be able to do on a standard AMM, automatic market maker exchange. So I want to first just quickly go into what the difference between a P2P cryptocurrency exchange and a normal exchange is, which is going to help me explain why you're able to trade without KYC on one and you need one on the other. So the difference is on a P2P cryptocurrency exchange, you're dealing directly with a buyer. The buyer and the seller directly link up with each other and they come to an agreement about what the payment method is going to be and what the price is going to be, and they deal directly with each other. And the website itself, the exchange, their only function as an exchange is to be almost as a referee between these two parties, and if there's ever a dispute, they can step in and they can look at the evidence and they can arbitrate that. But that's all they do. They don't do what traditional exchanges do, which is what you would call an AMM, an automatic market exchange. And that's like when you go to Binance or Bybit, when you go to the spot orders, you can see like a large list of buy orders, a large list of sell orders, and the buy orders and the sell orders are automatically matched with each other, and the buyer and the seller don't actually have any direct connection to each other. It's a completely faceless process, and the exchange is the one that actually does all these things. So the P2P exchange is much less hands-off on the process of the buyer and the seller dealing with each other. And so where the non-KYC aspect of this comes in is because of the fact that when you're onboarding cryptocurrency, so when you're trying to onboard fiat into cryptocurrency on a normal AMM exchange like Binance, what you're going to do is you're going to buy Bitcoin from them using a bank transfer. That's the primary way in which you're going to buy Bitcoin on these normal exchanges. And bank transfers require a lot of KYC if you're going to deal with cryptocurrency with them. They're extremely strict when cryptocurrency exchanges do business with them. They have to follow a lot of laws, regarding anti-money laundering, and part of the whole anti-money laundering laws is that they have to agree to KYC each of the customers if they're going to allow them to send money from their own personal bank account to the cryptocurrency exchange's bank account. So if they're going to allow for this transfer to take place, they require you to have for you to go through very rigorous KYC things, like you're gonna have to provide your passport, a photo of your face, all these different things to ensure that they're compliant with the regulations. Now, if you're dealing on P2P cryptocurrency exchanges, what's different is that the seller who's requiring payment from you is going to have a number of different other payment methods that don't require KYC. Now, there are some payment methods on P2P cryptocurrency exchanges that will require KYC, like the seller, the person that is selling you the Bitcoin on this P2P cryptocurrency exchange, not even the cryptocurrency exchange, but the seller himself, he might be the one that might ask you for KYC, but it depends on the payment method. So as I described, bank transfers are quite strict. So if there's a seller on a P2P cryptocurrency exchange and he's selling you Bitcoin via bank transfer, what's going to happen? Sorry, just ignore the screen here. What's going to happen is he's going to require that you send him KYC, which is, rather inconvenient. So what's going to happen then is that you're going to want to find a P2P payment method that isn't a bank transfer, and you want to find one that doesn't require KYC. So in this video, I'm going to first tell you about the P2P cryptocurrency exchanges that don't require any KYC to sign up. Secondly, I'm then going to tell you what payment methods don't require KYC from the seller. So to get straight into it, I am going to show you the two primary cryptocurrency exchanges that I use that I think are In fact, the best in the entire industry, I guess you could say. The first one is called HODL HODL, and HODL HODL is what you would call a non-custodial trading platform. And what that means is that when you send funds to the exchange, you're not sending it. Okay, sorry. So with most exchanges, like on Binance, you have your own personal wallet on there, so you can send funds from your cold wallet to the crypto exchange wallet. But how it works on the back end is that all the user's funds actually get pulled into one place. So you're not sending money to a unique address for you that is like separate from the exchange. It's going into like everyone else's pool of funds, and it goes into just one big pile of funds, right? And on the front end, what the administrators of the site will do was, they're just going to type in a bunch of ones and zeros to show that you've got cryptocurrency. So when you look on your on the wallet, on the crypto exchange, you'll see that you've got funds there, but it's just a bunch of ones and zeros. It's just numbers. But the reason why I say this, maybe this is going to sound a bit confusing, is that if there's a collapse of that crypto exchange or there's a hack, what's going to happen is those funds are going to be taken from the back end. But what you'll see on the front end is you'll still see that you've got, like 0.1 Bitcoin or something like that. But when you go to withdraw it, nothing will happen. So what happens on a non-custodial trading platform is that the exchange itself doesn't have any of your money. It doesn't have it at all. So the difference on HODL HODL is that there's someone selling Bitcoin, and then you're a buyer, you open a trade with that person. And what's going to happen is a contract, what you call a contract will open between you. When you agree to that contract, it's just the agreement for the buy and the sell. The opportunity for sending funds into escrow will happen for the seller. So what that means is a special wallet address will show up, and then and only then will the buyer send his own funds onto, not even to the crypto exchange, but into that specific escrowed wallet. And that will allow the funds to be accessible by the buyer, the seller, and the third party, which is the exchange, who will step in if there's a need for arbitration. But usually that doesn't happen. But that's the only time where the funds actually touch the exchange, and it's not. How can I say? It's very different to on these other exchanges where you've got to send your funds to the wallet, and then your funds are ultimately at the mercy of the cryptocurrency exchange. You could argue, and maybe I don't want to get too lost in the weeds, but you could argue that, your autonomy over the crypto is lost once it goes into that third party escrow, because, the site administrator or the moderator has the ability to determine which side the arbitration goes if there is a dispute. But in my opinion, they've always been very fair. And I've never really had any problems with getting scammed or an arbitration not going in my favor. And worst case, only my funds that are in that trade are at risk, at most. So there's always going to be funds at risk when you're trading P2P, but that's at most. So this is, maybe I went into too much detail about not how non-custodial trading works, but I want to explain why non-custodial trading platforms are much more superior to custodial trading platforms. I guess you could say it's a decentralized way of running in a cryptocurrency exchange. So on HODL HODL, there is no KYC, and because it's not up to the exchange, you're not dealing directly with the exchange. You're dealing with the individual sellers on the exchange, and it's up to them if they want to KYC you. So HODL HODL is really good for that. It's got really good low fees, and it's got good liquidity. And I'm going to leave a referral link in the description below. If you want to sign up with HODL HODL, I really recommend it. And the second one I want to recommend after this is Local CoinSwap, which is my personal favorite. Local CoinSwap was the, I guess you could say, the successor of the OG of P2P cryptocurrency trading platforms, which is Local Bitcoins. And it's got all the benefits of Local CoinSwap's got all the benefits of HODL HODL, except you can trade USDT TRC20, which is something that I like a lot more than trading Bitcoin, because it means you don't have to worry about these withdrawal fees and stuff like that. And of course, there's no KYC on this platform. So these are the two platforms that I recommend if you want to trade Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general without providing KYC to a platform, you use these two websites, HODL, Local Coin Swap. You can use my referral link in the description below so you can get a special deal on it. So to get into the meat and potatoes, when you're dealing with a seller, first let's try find a way. We're going to try and find a seller that doesn't require KYC, and let's go into the marketplace here, and I'm going to give you a few suggestions of payment methods that I know that are very well used, that don't require KYC. So as you can see, I've got Local Coin Swap here. This is a bank transfer trade. This one at the top here. The second one's a bank transfer trade. Anything that's bank transfer, you can guarantee is going to require KYC. So even though you're doing it on a non-KYC platform, I can guarantee you if you open a trade with this crypto coop person, he's going to ask you for a photo ID. He's then going to ask you to take a photo of your face with holding the ID, which is frankly very invasive. It's probably more invasive than if you were doing it on Binance, because at least on Binance you can trust these people, but with these individual sellers, I mean, these are just random people. So same with SEPA transfer. But what you can do, and I'm going to give you a few suggestions. The one that I want to suggest firstly is TransferWise. TransferWise does not require any KYC from the seller. The seller is going to, when you open a trade with that person, so you've got this person, he's selling TransferWise for ETH. When you open a trade with him, let's just open up just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's say you want to buy one ETH, you're gonna buy around 3k euros worth of ETH, and this person actually requires KYC. Screw this person. But the truth is, for the most part, nobody requires KYC. That guy, maybe he's got, I don't know what his deal is. Everyone's different, but for the most part, you don't going to require KYC. See, here we go. This person doesn't require KYC. What's going to happen is that you're going to open up a trade with this person, and he's just going to send you an email, or he's going to send you a payment link, or he's going to send you his Wise tag. You send funds to that, and it's done. He's then going to ask you what your sender name is, so the name of your on your TransferWise account, just to confirm it's you. And that's it. Maybe you have to send a screenshot, and then it's done. No KYC required. The second payment method that I want to recommend is Revolut. Revolut is a little more fiddly than TransferWise. Wise can be quite quick, but Revolut can be slow. And the reason why is, and something a concept that I want to give to you, is something called non-reversible payments. So what this is this is going to sound very strange, but most payments that you send to someone can be easily reversed. And this actually is part of the reason why cryptocurrency exists. The fact is, all money in existence, very sadly, can be reversed. The payment can be reversed. And ultimately means you don't even have control over your own money. You don't have control over whether you send money to someone or not. Because all that money, if the authorities decide that they don't like that transaction, they can reverse that. And this has become something that has been gamed by scammers, and there's many different payment methods, even bank transfers, where you'll sell cryptocurrency to someone, for instance, and that person who bought the cryptocurrency from you then call their bank and say, hey, someone made an unauthorized transaction on my bank, someone hacked into my account, I was coerced. Nigerian scammers called me up. The Prince of Buju land offered me a deal I couldn't refuse. But actually, I want to get my money back. And 100% of the time, those payment methods for the banks to PayPal or whatever will be very happy to reverse that transaction, and then the seller will get scammed. So when you're dealing in the P2P space, you want to be thinking about what transactions can't be reversed. So that Wise transfer that I was describing before is a transaction that can't be reversed. So the seller will be very happy with that, and he doesn't require any KYC. In fact, the main reason why many sellers require KYC from their buyers, it's not even because of the AML laws. Many of them aren't even regulated, so they're not worried about these following these AML laws, they need your KYC because they want to make sure that there's leverage against you. So if you scam them and you do a reverse charge on them, they can then that seller can go to their bank and say, hey, look, this person definitely bought this thing from me. He even agreed to give me a picture of his passport, a picture of his passport held next to his face. Maybe I even got him to write a little note saying, I'm not going to reverse charge, something like that. And often they're doing KYC just to protect themselves. So you want to be looking for payment methods where the seller doesn't have to protect themselves, because the moment you send funds to them, the funds won't be reversible. So TransferWise is an example of once the funds are sent to that person's account, that's done. He can never get scammed, and as a result, he has no interest in knowing anything more about you, which is exactly what you want if you want to buy cryptocurrency without providing KYC. So to get on to the next one is Revolut. And Revolut is, it can be a little bit complicated because you have to, in order to do this non-reversible transfer of funds, you can't just do the normal rev tag payment, which is what you would usually do. So most people have like this thing called a rev tag, and I just send funds to you, and it's very quick. However, if you're going to trade it in a non-reversible way, there's a particular method called card-to-card transactions. I don't want to go into too much details. If you do open a trade with a seller, he'll provide you all the instructions on how to send funds by card to card, which is a non-reversible transaction. But the reason why I say it's fiddly is because it can take up to 40 minutes to complete. And that's because part of the whole process is that you then have to go into a customer support chat and pretty much provide the customer support chat with validation and proof that this isn't a scam trade, because all these different payment methods and these neobanks and remittance services are so concerned about people getting scammed, because it does happen, but it makes these processes kind of slow, and it's part of the reason why trading P2P is a little bit more difficult than other methods, because you're using platforms in a way they weren't designed. And unfortunately, these platforms were designed so they can have reversible transactions. These platforms, think about it, like someone like PayPal wants to make it so someone can buy goods from you and then a month later say, oh, they never received it or they didn't like it. And they can keep the item essentially, and they can have that transaction reversed. It's a godlike power over money that shouldn't exist. So P2P sellers, everyone, including myself, are trying to find ways to create these non-reversible transaction situations. So Wise, you can do it. Revolut, you can do it. And I want to give you a few other examples of ones you can do. Oh, the third one is Payoneer. Payoneer is really nice. I like Payoneer very much. I can't pull it up on either of these exchanges, but you should be able to find it there. Payoneer is another payment method that doesn't require any KYC. It's also non-reversible as well. I suggest you look into Payoneer. The sellers tend to give fairly good rates on Payoneer. Payoneer is something you can find as a payment method on OKX, which unfortunately is a KYC platform. But if you search around, you can find it. So Payoneer, so those are three. The fourth one is actually PayPal. And I know I was just ragging on PayPal just now, but there's a way that you can transact on PayPal without having to worry about if you're a seller, you can sell Bitcoin on using PayPal without worrying about the person doing a reverse chargeback on you. And if you're a buyer, you can send funds without the concern that the seller's going to have that concern, because if he has that concern, he's not going to sell it. Sorry if I'm kind of mincing my words here, but if you want to buy cryptocurrency with PayPal, you can do it, except it's just going to be quite expensive. The markup is going to be around 20% for that. But if you're a seller, if you're curious how you can accept funds without it getting reverse charged, you have to accept it by friends and family and by balance only. And if they do that, and you can get proof that the buyer is actually going to do that, then you don't have to worry about the buyer doing a reverse charge on you. If you're a buyer and you can find a seller for crypto who will accept PayPal, then yeah, you won't have to provide any KYC. So those are 4 methods, and I know there are a number of other methods out there. There are methods just I haven't used. There's like literally hundreds of payment methods on P2P cryptocurrency exchanges, and I'm only familiar with so many of them, but fortunately the 4 that I recommended are 4 of the at least they're at least in the top 5 most liquid payment methods. So you're not going to have a hard time finding someone selling these things. And there are definitely a number of others. So you want to look around on these P2P cryptocurrency exchanges. Create an account with HODL, create an account with local CoinSwap using my referral link in the description below, and look around in the list of sellers, and you can ask them, open a trade with them and just ask them, do I require KYC for this trade? Many of them will say no, and some of them might say yes, but I'm sure you'll be able to find someone that will be able to acquiesce to your to what you're asking for. And yeah, so those are the 2 things. So just in conclusion, you can use HODL and local CoinSwap to sign up to a P2P cryptocurrency exchange that doesn't require KYC. And secondly, you can use the following payment methods that don't require KYC with the seller. That's TransferWise, Revolut, Payoneer, PayPal. But there are also a lot more if you're willing to check it out. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like this video, subscribe, and I'm going to give you more videos about how to debank, how to successfully use P2P cryptocurrency exchanges, etc., etc. So thanks a lot. I'll see you later.